Hi, welcome to my channel. I see a lot of people that even though they use a computer, they don't know much about computer hardware. That grinds my gears a bit. If you are one of those people, don't worry. Uncle Panos is going to give you a few tips so you are one step closer to computer enlightenment. If you're a more experienced user though, this video may not be for you, but feel free to stay for the memes. So, what is a computer? What does it consist of? A PC's main parts are CPU or Central Processing Unit, GPU or Graphic Processing Unit, RAM, Random Access Memory, storage, motherboard, and PSU, Power Supply Unit. Or, in other words, how fast is the computer, how well it runs games, how many browser tabs we can have open, how many educational videos we can save, the circuit board that all of the above are hosted on, and supply. On a desktop computer, you can change or upgrade each part in the future, but on a laptop though, the only parts that are usually available to change are the storage and the RAM. When browsing online and looking at complete solutions, we need only to check for the following parts: CPU model, frequency and core count, GPU model and memory, RAM capacity, storage capacity and type. When out to buy a computer, you will see a lot of hieroglyphics, letters, numbers, i5 10500, 6700 RX, RTX, GTX. So what's with all the names? What does it mean? First numbers indicate the version or generation. Usually the higher the number, the latest is the model. Version numbers have only meaning only between the same company, so don't go try comparing different numbers on different companies. So for example, a Radeon RX 6000 series is on the same scale as a GeForce RTX 3000 series, as far as model goes. The other numbers you will see on CPUs and GPUs are power levels. For example, an Intel i5 10500 is a Core i5 10th generation Intel on the medium power level. These models are usually followed by some letters, but you don't really need to know more about those unless you decide to know more or you decide you want to tweak your CPU. For gaming, it's better to have higher frequency and lower core count than more cores on less frequency. So for example, if you have to pick between a 4 GHz 8 core and a 3 GHz 12 core, go for the first one. Most likely, it will perform way better on games. Generally, you can get an idea on how good is a CPU if you multiply the cores with the frequency of the RAM. It's not working exactly like that though, but it's a very close approximation. Naming wise, GPUs follow the same pattern as CPUs. So a Radeon RX 6700 is a Radeon RX 6000 series on the high end. On GPUs, you will also see models with suffixes. For example, a 3060 Ti is better than a 3060, but is also worse than a 3070. So it's like 3060.5, something like that. On CPUs and GPUs, you will have to check where its family range starts on the power levels, because not all of them start at 0. There are a lot more types of CPUs and GPUs, but we are only interested in the Intel Core i series and the AMD Ryzen series. And for GPUs, we're only interested in the GeForce RTX series and the AMD Radeon RX series, which are made for the average consumer in mind. There are two main types of storage: HDD or hard disk drives and SSD or solid state drives. SSDs are newer technology and are way faster compared to their older counterparts, like 50 times or so, depending on what you get. But they are also more expensive. There are two types of SSDs categorized by the type of connection they have with the motherboard: SATA SSDs and NVMe SSDs. NVMe SSDs are newer technology and faster than older SATA SSDs. Browsing on a shop, you may see pre-built systems that have both SSD and HDD drives. Storage is transferable between computers, so in my opinion, having mixed storage will give you two useless drives when you change computer in the future. Also, you should keep in mind that as an SSD gets fuller percentage-wise, the slower it gets. So get a big one. Don't even think to go under 8 GB of RAM. That's asking for stuff to come crashing down. For gaming, I suggest 16 GB. If you find a system with less, you may need to upgrade it. If you're looking into video editing, you may need a little bit more. Currently, 32 GB can handle the most demanding tasks memory-wise. Lastly, you will need one operating system. Usually Windows is the way to go. For the purposes of this channel, I'm going to be using Linux. If you want to try gaming on Linux, be prepared to lose a lot of time trying to get things working in some cases. In such case, be mindful that if you get an NVIDIA GPU, you will have more headaches than with an AMD GPU currently on Linux. When looking for a computer on a tight budget, I would suggest to try to get anything as long as it's last generation, although if you don't have that luxury, the main objective is to get at least a last generation GPU of any scale. It's not going to be pretty, but when you're broke, you make do with what you have. For example, my old laptop, which I got back in 2015, running a GeForce 920M. Was it pretty? No. Did I play with stable 60 FPS? Definitely not. Did that stop me from having fun? Believe it or not, still no. I had a ton of fun, even playing on a low-budget laptop. Gaming is not about having all the power and fancy lights. When you're a gamer, you're a gamer, even when you play on below 30 FPS, even if all you have is your old grandma's Nokia. It helps though not to play with 20 or 30 FPS, so we're gunning at least for mid-range if it is affordable. And this is it for today. You're now ready to choose the computer you want. You do not have the power to build one from scratch yet, but don't worry, that's a topic for another video, and it's not as hard as it sounds. Now you can talk about computer specs like you know what you're talking about, and actually knowing what you're talking about, mostly. Stick around for more informative videos on hardware and gaming reviews. If you liked the video, hit like, subscribe and the notification bell. Share and show the video with your friends, your grandma, by force, and let me know how that went in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, I'll see you all on the next video. Don't forget to have fun.